Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Blitz here, and we're back with our NFL Week 10 game predictions. Last week, I went 11-4. I didn't end up recording those. I didn't make the time to record the video for that, but I do have them down on one of those like ESPN like pick'em leagues or whatever. So yeah, I did go 11-4. The games I got wrong were the Thursday night game between the Texans and Jets. I thought the Texans would win. Then I was wrong about the Chargers Browns. I actually thought the Browns were going to win that because I thought Jameis was going to pull off another crazy Jameis masterpiece, or masterclass, whatever you want to call it. I got the Patriots Titans game wrong. I thought the Patriots are going to win that because Drake May's been looking pretty good lately. And then the Bears Cardinals game. I thought the Bears were going to win that one, and they didn't. So, yeah. So 11-4. I think it's pretty solid. On the season, I'm 86-52. So, pretty solid record, I think. Nothing like amazing. Honestly, most of my bad weeks came in the first couple weeks of the season. I think like week 2 or 3, I had one that I went like 7-7 or something weird like that. So yeah, had some bad weeks early on, but the last few weeks have been pretty dang clean for me. So let's stop rambling though. Let's go ahead and get on with these game predictions. Tried to do these relatively quick. Got the Bengals at the Ravens. I think there's actually going to be a lot of offense in this game. Bengals defense isn't great. Actually, it's pretty bad. Ravens defense has actually been really disappointing this year as well. They seem to be struggling quite a bit without Mike McDonald. So, yeah, I expect to see a lot of offense. I do think the Ravens are going to run the ball really well, like they normally do. It's in Baltimore. I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens here. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a field day. Then we have the Broncos at the Chiefs. Broncos have been looking pretty good, though they did get absolutely wrecked by the Ravens last week. Yeah, that was a pretty ugly game. Honestly, I don't really see them bouncing back this week against the Chiefs either. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Then we have the Bills against the Colts here. Joe Flacco really didn't look great against against the Vikings. Sorry, I was looking at the Bills logo when I started saying that. But I don't think they're gonna. I don't think he's gonna do great against the Bills either. I think the Bills have a pretty solid defense. I think it's better than a lot of people realize. I think Josh Allen's going to have a really good game this week. I think that one's going to turn into a pretty ugly game. I really do. I just have a feeling about it. It's going to be ugly. And the Bills are going to win by quite a bit. That's just kind of what I feel. Then we have the Titans at the Chargers. Honestly, there's been times this season I've been kind of critical of the Chargers. I still don't know whether to believe if they're, a great team or not. I mean, they're 5-3, but there's weeks that their offense just looks awful. I think they've got a really good defense. I mean, top tier defense in the league right now. Ultimately, I think it's going to be too much for Mason Rudolph to handle. So, or Will Levis, regardless of who starts. It's going to be too much for them to handle. So, I'm going to go Chargers there. Then we have the Patriots at the Bears. Now, most of the Bears, actually, might be all of the Bears' losses. Could be wrong on this. You guys can correct me. but I'm pretty sure all of the Bears' losses have been on the road. They have been pretty clean, pretty good at home too. So I think I'm gonna go with the Bears. Oh my gosh, sorry guys, I still have this cough that's lingering, and it kind of creeps up on me once in a while. So sorry about that. But yeah, the Bears I think are better at home. They haven't been good on on the road. If this was in Foxborough instead, I'd probably go with the Patriots, to be honest. But since the Bears have been clean at home, I'm taking the Bears here. Then we have the Steelers at the Commanders. I think this is actually going to be a really good matchup. Yeah, I'm actually excited for this one. Two really solid teams. Honestly, the Steelers' offense has actually been looking even better with Russell Wilson for the two games he's played. They are coming off a bye. I don't know whether Marshawn Lattimore will be playing this game for the Commanders or not. I would expect probably not, because he was out this last week against the Panthers when he was still on the Saints. And coming to a new team that early, I would kind of doubt he's going to play. So they don't have Marshawn Lattimore, I wouldn't think. I'm leaning Washington here, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers pull this off. I really wouldn't. I think that's going to be a fun game. This one, I'm not even going to take a lot of time on. Vikings beating the Jags. I really don't think the Jags are a good team. They've had a couple games here and there where they start looking good for a little bit. And then it kind of just goes away, you know? Like, they looked all right during the Eagles game, but they couldn't come away with the win. And honestly, I think the Vikings have just too good of a team in general. Like, not offense or defense specifically, just team in general, that I think the Vikings win this. So then we have the Jets at the Cardinals. The Jets finally looked how we expected them to on Thursday night against the Texans. The connection with Rodgers and Devontae Adams finally started to show up a little bit. Garrett Wilson had an insane night. He balled out. I think it was like 9 catches for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns, or something along those lines. He had a really good night. Really, the Jets' offense looked clean that night. I do think the Cardinals are a really solid team right now. Right now, they're leading the NFC West. I think this should be a fun game. Something's kind of telling me, though, that I think Kyler Murray's going to have a good game. I think he's going to have plays where he gets it done with his feet, honestly, where he scrambles and picks up rushing yards. I think that's ultimately what's going to win them this game. I think the Jets are... And I get it. The Jets have a solid D-line. They've got a solid pass rush. I know some of you guys might be thinking, like, well, they're not going to struggle keeping Kyler in the pocket. There's some guys in the league that you just can't keep in the pocket, because they're too shifty, too good. Kyler Murray's one of those guys. Lamar Jackson's another one of those guys, just if we're throwing out another name. So yeah, I'm going to go with Kyler Murray here and the Cardinals. I think they get it done. But if the Jets kind of continue to look how they did on Thursday night, wouldn't be all that surprised if they won. So then we've got the Lions at the Texans. Lions have been on a nasty streak. They've been really good this year. Their defense seems to have been taking a big step forward too. Even without Aiden Hutchinson, which that's been the biggest prize for me. I thought they were going to take a big step backwards when losing him. It's still been real solid. The Texans, they're expecting to have Nico Collins back this week, but he didn't practice today either, though. So it's still kind of up in the air whether he plays or not. I think that's going to be a big deciding factor if the Texans win this or not. Because if they don't have him, I can say with full certainty the Lions are winning. Okay? If they do have him, it's going to be a little bit more of a dogfight. I think either way, I think I'm still going to go Lions, regardless if he plays or not. But if he does play, I could see the Texans pulling it off. Then we've got the Dolphins at the Rams on Monday Night Football. I think this is gonna kind of be the breakout game that Tyreek Hill and Tua get their chemistry really going this week. I think they kind of realized that these last few weeks they just haven't really gotten it going, and I think this is the game that it happens, and I think that's ultimately going to be enough to win the game. I think there's going to be enough Dolphin offensive firepower here that it wins them the game. Though I do really like the Rams. They've been really good with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. With it being in LA, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams win this. So there's a lot of these games this week that I could see going either way. So then we've got the Giants taking on the Carolina Panthers in Germany. Gonna be an early morning game, so I'm planning on being up bright and early that day to watch the game. I'm excited for that one, actually. Panthers are coming off a win against the Saints. That is one of the games I actually called the Panthers to win this week. I just kind of went into that week with confidence in Bryce Young. And honestly, I knew how bad the Saints were struggling lately. Just kind of had a feeling the Panthers were winning, and they did. Honestly, I kind of feel the same way this week against the Giants. Because really, offensively for the Giants, the only thing that really scares me there is Malik Neighbors. And I think as long as J.C. Horn stays matched up on him the whole game, I'm not saying he's going to clamp him down for, like, only a catch or two, but he's gonna keep him limited. Like, he's not going to be a major factor here. He'll still have a solid game, okay? Again, I'm not going to try and say he's not going to have any catches or he's going to have just an awful game. But I don't think he's going to be enough of a factor to really make the offense this week. Tyrone Tracy has been solid, but I wouldn't say he really scares me, you know? And you look at this last week, the Panthers took on Alvin Kamara, and he ran all over the Panthers. He had like 200 total scrimmage yards against the Panthers and still lost. So, I mean, this is kind of one of those games that if the Panthers defense takes another step forward this week, which I could see them doing because they're bringing DJ Wanham off IR. He should be starting this week. So there's some help there. Their defense, in my opinion, at least, has been looking better these last 2 weeks. Not gonna say it's good, but it's looking better than it has been. The offense seems to be clicking a little bit better now. I'm gonna take the Panthers. I know that's considered the upset, but I called it last week, and I have a good feeling about it this week. So, this next one, not going to take a lot of time on this. I think the Falcons absolutely, pretty easily, get the win here against the Saints. Honestly, until the Saints really show me something, you know, at any point going forward in this season, I don't really think they're going to get any other big wins, you know. I think the Falcons win this pretty convincingly. So then we have the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey coming back. So that's exciting. Taking on the Bucks. Still no Mike Evans. Obviously, you know, Chris Godwin's out for the year. So really their only real weapon again going to be Cade Otton. I will say, in the in the Bucks versus Chiefs game, I was very impressed with Sterling Shepard. He made some really good plays, really good catches. So I was really impressed with him. And Cade Otton's been really good these last 2 weeks as well. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball real well against the Niners. I think with Fred Warner, I think Cade Otton's going to be limited quite a bit. And I think overall, just it's going to be too much for the Bucks to handle. So I am going to go with the Niners here to win. That's just kind of a bad mismatch for the Bucks. Then I'm going to go with the Eagles over the Cowboys. It is in Dallas, but no Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb is injured, though I do expect him to play. But it's like, I mean, he's got Cooper Rush throwing him the ball instead of Dak Prescott. And, I mean, I get that last year, or was it last year or the year before? Might have been the year before. When Cooper Rush did come in, he was like 5-1 as a starter. But that was also because their defense was significantly better and their offensive line was significantly better. And they also, that year, I believe they had Michael Gallup as well. I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure they had Brandon Cooks as well. So they also had other weapons. Right now, they've pretty much only got CeeDee Lamb. Jalen Tolbert's not awful, but I think on most teams, I don't think he'd be higher than like a wide receiver 3. So, yeah, I'm taking the Eagles here pretty convincingly. I mean, their defense has been pretty solid. Saquon Barkley has been an absolute menace. I mean, he's been filthy. That backwards hurdle last week was insane. Like, probably coolest play of the entire week. Like, we may never see something like that happen again. So, yeah, taking the Eagles there. So, let me know what you think of these game predictions in the comment section below. Again, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.